say how I feel, cause I know that it's something real. Gonna say how I feel, cause I know that it's something real. Hey, hey. Gonna say how I feel, cause I know that it's something real.
Well, hi everybody. How are you tonight? Welcome to Keeping It Real. Oh my gosh, we have new people, Marla and Lance. Lance, you gave me a great idea for a new story, another story. I was considering it. It's called A River Ran Through It, and oh yeah, it's a good book. It's a little. I got to fit it in with a theme though, and I'll have to have Angie's picture to show, her painting to show with it. Yes. So, welcome. 64 of these in a row. 3 did have to be taped. And is this 64? Yes, tomorrow's 65. Whoo! Yes. And thank you for those of you who are just joining for the first time. If you're catching this on replay, welcome. Hey, it's a fun time. And for those of you who've been coming all along, this is awesome. I just love it. Now, Gloria always tells me I'm having my sound. Sammy's in the house. He's going to have to help me out with my audio. This is Sammy Superstar. He's an amazing audio technician and live streamer, and he's like 17. Okay. Yes, that's who you learn from. So, but thank you so much for being here. This has been really a lot of fun and just a really boost to my own creativity. As most of you know, I'm a photographer, and I started this initially to share photographs, and it ended up morphing to a story that went with another photograph that was similar to Angie's painting or something like that. And then the holiday season came along, and my life as an elementary librarian and an avid children's book collector kind of came through, and the stories came out, and they haven't stopped, and that's okay because I really love it, and it's also giving me a chance to explore some different art ways and things to do, because we explore the art in the books, and sometimes we do some artwork, and tonight we might do a little bit of magical sketching afterwards. So I hope you have a pencil and piece of paper handy. It's not no pressure if you don't, if you find that that's not what your thing, but that's kind of what we've been doing, is just a different kind of things. Some of the things I used to do with kids in the classroom is how this all came about. And so it's thought I could walk away from it after I retired, but apparently no. So I hope everybody's had a good day. We've got Gloria and Dee and Joanne's here, and Nathan and Sammy Superstar and Lance pouring together with Lance Travis. And let's see, who else? Gloria, Marla Walker's here. Yay, welcome Marla. First time here. It's nice to have you here. This is great. Yeah. And Helen's here. Helen is Hanakalani Creations. You would think she was in Hawaii, but she's actually about 50 miles due north. Due north on Whidbey Island. And that's pretty funny because I'm in Washington State, southern tip of the Key Peninsula. She's in Washington State on Whidbey Island, in the great Pacific Northwest. Yeah, it's we're having a wetter than normal January. Yeah. By I think January 12th, we'd had the full amount of rain that we normally have for the entire month of January. And it's kind of crazy. It's been some crazy times, but it's good to see all you guys here. Thank you so much. And I appreciate. Oh, and Janet's here. Hi, Janet's here. See how different Aussie possums are from American possums. Okay. And I did not realize that they were that different. I always thought that there was another name for him, Nathan. And, I'm putting it out there with my limited knowledge of Australian animals and what just from children's literature. So I get all my facts from children's literature. So no, I'm a librarian, so I do a little bit of hunting, but for this, ooh, yeah. Anyway, I've got you loud and clear. Yay. Nathan can, if I goof up too badly, Nathan's going to correct me. I don't know if I'm going to try my Australian accent tonight. Gosh, it's easy to do in wombat stew for the dingo. You know, it's pretty good because it has a rhythm to it. This is a little bit of a different story. And Kristen Tyree, hi, welcome. Kristen, oops, move you down here off my nose. Thank you. Oh, well, that's a good thing. Welcome, first time here. I'm so glad to have you. Angie is here. Angie Mason's here. Yes. Wherever everybody's saying hello to each other. That is awesome. So, tonight, this book is called Possum Magic, and it is by the one and only Mem Fox. And we read a book of hers earlier called Wilfred Gordon MacDonald Partridge, about the little boy who helped the lady find her memory. And then Koala Lou is another one that I was thinking about reading, but I couldn't find it even. And I didn't dare go in the grandkids' room again because I knew I would get lost in there like I did yesterday. You know, go in to look for a book and I come out an hour later having read 12. Ugh. So, cheers to the evening. I have, it's not Australian, but it's my favorite. It's called Krabby's, and it's a Scottish ginger beer. Yeah, really hard to find, and we found it today. So that's what we're doing. All right, so are you guys ready for story time, huh? First off, let's see if I can find Mem Fox for you here and tell you a little bit about her. Oops, cancel that. This is Mem. Writing, teaching, learning, loving, living. She has sections for writers here, if you're a writer, about her books, for teachers, for parents and thoughts, for children, questions answered. Let's see if it has her books. Oh, it doesn't have some video about her. All right. Her newest released in 2021. Oh, it's illustrated by Mark Teague. Oh, be still my heart. He's an amazing illustrator. Cat Dog. Early One Morning. Tiny Star. Roly Poly. The 30th anniversary edition of Possum Magic. Now, Possum Magic, what we're reading tonight, this book right here, originally was only published in Australia. And it was kept as kind of a treasured book for kids in Australia. And finally it was let out to the rest of the world, and I'm so glad. Where's the green sheep? 10 little fingers and 10 little toes. Oh, this book, Time for Bed. Oh, it's so cute. It is such a cute book. Oh, and it's Jane Dyer's a really good author. And Pamela Lofts, Koalalu, who did another book we just read. Didn't she do Wilfred Gordon MacDonald? No, Julie Vivas, who did this one, is Possum Magic. Whoever you are, I'm Australian too. And she has like older books. Look at this. Look, I mean, yeah. She's just amazing. And it goes on and on and on. I don't know how many books. I think she's written over 40 children's books. Oh, that looks good. Hunwick's Eggs. I like the illustration. Oh, it's Pamela Lofts again. The Magic Hat's really good. Oh, I have Sleepy Bear someplace. I know, I think maybe it's at a grandkid's. Wombat Divine is hilarious. Okay, I could go on. You know that. You know that I could go on. And there's videos too if you wanted to see. It's just memfox.com. She has videos where she reads some of her books. And so I don't listen to those beforehand because I don't want to feel completely intimidated. It is just not always good for my mental health, I suppose, if I do that. Yeah, it's funny. That's why I was glad I didn't know that Nathan was from Australia before I read Wombat Stew, but he was very kind. Very, very kind. Anyway, let's see if anybody else, before I hop in here and has hopped in. Go for it. Miss Piggy, you had an opossum named Miss Piggy. Oh my gosh. I was telling the story the other night of a friend of mine who rescued a possum here in the Northwest. They're not very nice in the Northwest. They're mean little creatures. I mean, they got long, sharp teeth, and and she rescued one and kept it in her house. And yeah, we had words about that one. Janice is here. Hello, Janice Pittman. Welcome, welcome. Okay. Well, it looks like the crew is here and it's time for a story. And like I said, what's your poison there, girl? She says, it is, like I said, crabbies. I'm kind of behind on this. Ginger bear, yes. So we're going to read Possum Magic. And afterwards, we're going to try a little sketching of maybe an invisible. You'll get it once you hear the story. All right. Let's see, make sure I've got everybody. You know, I think one of the things Angie said she always wanted to illustrate a children's book. I think that would be magical. I did a pour painting for a friend's son in his nursery. So I think I mentioned this. I could declare that it was shortly after the knee replacement, and I was maybe not in my right mind when I told you about the children's book that I've written, but it's not illustrated and I've never put it out there. But maybe, well, I'll read it sometimes and you guys could do idea illustrations to go with it. And then we could share them. That would be fun. Okay. Jay Whitty's here. Joanne. I'll tell you. Your lives were fine tonight, Angie. It happens. It happens. I was on. Okay. I'll take a little aside, step back. Ecamm Live is the software that I use to do this, and it is an amazing, amazing live streaming software. I mean, they've got it going on. They have a 5-day challenge going on. The trainer was doing day 4 today. We all logged in. They had their wrench people, the crew, and everything there waiting. They had their moderators waiting and waiting and waiting. And Kelly, the trainer, was apparently talking the whole time and her system wasn't working and she hadn't done something. She had to restart and we all had to jump, some 70 people had to jump over, find the training again. So it happens to the best of us. It's called live. It's real life. It happens. So we're just going to go for it. And since she can't wait, let's go to the book. There's the book. Move my microphone over. Here's the book. It's called Possum Magic by Mem Fox. Of course, it has a grandmother in it, which, of course, I love. My daughter is now calling my youngest granddaughter Baby Goo. And Goo is my nickname. I'm feeling pretty proud of that because she's the first of the 5 grandkids to have my red hair. Everybody else has, all of Bryn's kids have Bryn's white blonde hair. And Annalina's kids have her brown hair. And her, yeah, so yay, Baby Goo. Possum Magic, written by Mem Fox, illustrated by Julie Vivas. Oops, I forgot to turn on a light. Let me turn on another light back here. There we go. There. Once upon a time, but not very long ago, deep in the Australian bush lived 2 possums. Their names were Hush and Grandma Poss. Grandma Poss made bush magic. She made wombats blue and kookaburras pink. She made dingoes smile and emus shrink. But the best magic of all was the magic that made Hush invisible. What adventures Hush had! Because she couldn't be seen, she could be squashed by koalas. Because she couldn't be seen, she could slide down kangaroos. Because she couldn't be seen, she was safe from snakes. Which is why Grandma Poss had made her invisible in the first place. That snake is always... But one day, quite unexpectedly, Hush said, "Grandma, I want to know what I look like. Please, could you make me visible again?" "Oh, of course I can," said Grandma Poss, and she began to look through her magic books. She looked into this book, and she looked into that. There was magic for thin, and there was magic for fat. Magic for tall, and magic for small. But the magic she was looking for wasn't there at all. Grandma Poss looked miserable. "Don't worry, Grandma," said Hush. "I don't mind." But in her heart of hearts, she did. All night long, Grandma Poss thought and thought. The next morning, just before breakfast, she shouted, "It's something to do with food! People food, not possum food. I can't remember what. We'll just have to try and find it." So later that day, they left the bush where they had always been to find what it was that would make Hush be seen. They ate Anzac Biscuits in Adelaide, Mornay and Minty's in Melbourne, steak and salad in Sydney, and pumpkin scones in Brisbane. Hush remained invisible. "Don't lose heart," said Grandma Poss. "Let's see what we can find in Darwin." It was there, in the far north of Australia, that they found a Vegemite sandwich. Grandma Poss crossed her claws and crossed her feet. Hush breathed deeply and began to eat. "A tail! A tail!" shouted both possums at once. For there it was, a brand new, visible tail. Later on a beach in Perth, they ate a piece of pavlova. Hush's legs appeared. So did her body. "You look wonderful, you precious possum," said Grandma Poss. Next stop, Tasmania. And over the sea they went. Dragging the tennis shoes. In Hobart, late one night, in the kitchens of the casino, they saw a lamington on a plate. Hush closed her eyes and nibbled. Grandma Poss held her breath and waited. "It's worked! It's worked!" she cried. And she was right. Hush could be seen from head to tail. Grandma Poss hugged Hush, and they both danced "Here We Go Round the Lamington Plate" till early in the morning. From that time on, Hush was visible. But once a year, on her birthday, she and Grandma Poss ate a Vegemite sandwich, a piece of pavlova, and half a lamington, just to make sure that Hush stayed visible forever. And she did. Look at the whole crew along here. Grandma Poss has little slippers on. And then is the Glossary of Australian Terms, and this is what is so cool about this. I remember reading this with the kids at school. Anzac Biscuits are their traditional rolled oat and syrup cookies. Oops, my camera just got out of focus. Come on. Oh well. Mornay is a supper dish of fish in white sauce topped with breadcrumbs and browned in the oven. Minties are peppermint flavored nougat candies. Ooh, that sounds yummy. Vegemite. Who's had Vegemite? A salty yeast spread used on toast and in sandwiches. Pavlova, a meringue shell topped with fresh fruits and whipped cream. I've had that. And lamington is a square of sponge cake dipped in thin chocolate icing and rolled in coconut. Oh, that sounds like a little bit of heaven. Okay, Vegemite here. There's, thank you, Nathan. Vegemite is an Australian sandwich spread. Yeah, I thought you might like it. It is. I had a good friend years ago who was a librarian, and she did her master's study in Australia and New Zealand, and those were two. She loved the Vegemite. She thought it was great. So that is the story of Possum Magic. So what if Hi, oh, Donna's here. It's art by Donna. Yay. Oh, good to have you here. Oh, you remember this. Nathan remembers it when he was a kid. Yeah, let's see. It was originally published in 1983. So that's pretty amazing. Let's see. Yep. Mem Fox was born in 1946. Such a treasure. So, who has a bit of sketching they'd like to do? Maybe. Okay, so I was doing this little bit of study on, let me pull this to this page. Okay, right here. Not the, well, we thought we worked on the focus on this, but it's still not doing quite what I want it to do. Well, it's gonna, well, you know what? When you're sketching, sometimes you don't want things to be perfect. So I was looking at the way that she made the, made Hush into an invisible little guy. And I also like the way she did the books over there. So if you have a sketch pad, so I tried earlier, I tried to do the one this way. It took me a little bit of time. And then I got going on doing other shapes like mice and stuff. Okay. So we're going to try to do Hush or Grandma. Which one do you want to do? Let's find it. Let's see. Ooh, there's a good, you know what? There's a good wombat. We could do a wombat. Who wants to do a wombat? Wombat or possum to draw? What do you want to do, guys? Anybody got an idea? I'll see votes. Grandma. Oh, yes. Editing takes a while. Thanks for coming, Janet. All right. So what's cool about this is it's another one. If we look at, like we were doing in Drawing on the Right Side of the Brain, how I talked about looking at the shapes rather than, and how we turn things upside down. And I may just have to turn this guy upside down. Yep, he's going upside down for me. And I'm going to turn my sketchbook upside down. So if you've got a sketchbook or something to draw, this is kind of one of those fun type of things we can do. I've got a little more showing this time than I did the last time because I've gotten a little more used to doing this and I do more of it. So I'm just going to sketch in the parts that are revealed here. And you just kind of do the shapes because your brain doesn't recognize the body parts when you do it this way. Your brain recognizes it as a shape, like a curve with a point or a triangle kind of thing. And your brain says, oh, I can do that. It doesn't get lost up in the labels. And you can do the shading too if you want. I have this really cool book on right brain drawing in nature. And let's see. Okay, move it up a little bit. And from there we had who's joining me? I hope somebody out there is doing this because I know Angie was going to do some of this. Angie, I think it's really awesome the way you're thinking about your channel and what we do, but you know, the talk and the time that I don't think you should feel bad about having talk time on your channel, because it is about the art and it is about what people come for. And it's, you never know what you're saying that might just touch somebody. His eye was there, was wrong spot. So I think it's good. I love everybody's channels. I was listening today, we had to go to Seattle because I had a post-op for my knee. I have to go one more time because I haven't gotten it flat yet. But that was the trick in to go in. And I picked up my new computer. Oh my gosh. I have been struggling along with, I mean, and my computer gets used a lot because of its photographer, and it gets a whole lot of work. And I've had a 2013 iMac, 27-inch iMac for a long time, but I can't take it with me when I go places, and my iPad does not get my Lightroom stuff on me, so I'm stuck in the middle of places and I can't upload and do that. So I went whole hog and I got myself a new MacBook Pro laptop, the 14-inch, the base model, because that'll work, because that's going to be plenty good for me. And it's going to last for a long, long time. But I also bought myself a new mouse, so it doesn't freeze anymore. Okay. There, am I doing? How am I doing? Up here. There we go. Now this is the only way I can draw, you guys. Seriously. Well, I did the other guys right side up, but it was a struggle. It was a struggle, and it wasn't anywhere near as much fun as this. And your nose is got. Okay. You guys get to see it first. How did I do you think? What do you think? I'm going to put in a little bit of shading over here. We'll see. We'll see. 1, 2, 3. Oh, not bad. Side by side. Oops, here, let me spin this out a little bit more. There we go. There. That's not bad for a good start on a sketch. I think doing this, what it does for me is it frees me up and gets anything that gets me looser, and doing this and starting to look at the shapes and the different ways, because what this does is it translates for me out when I see things out in nature, and then when I go to work on my photographs, because I do a lot of abstract work, and it just the shapes I see and what I start to see, so it's fun. Another drawing on the right side of the brain, upside down. All right. Oh, Nathan, you know, this might be kind of a fun thing for you to do, because just to relax and draw and something like this and sketch. I find it to be, it's a real helpful thing for my muscles in my hands, because they get really tight. If I eat the wrong stuff, my joints get messed up. So I'll do this to loosen myself up. Bring the book down a little bit. Oh, you want to see the book down like this? Look at the illustrations on that, you guys. It's just, and this one, the reflection, is one of my favorite. That's Grandma Poss, and the reflection, she's brushing her teeth. And if you see the invisible hush, it's just so cool. These are the kind of things that are really kind of fun, because then you can do the sketches and then you can play with them with like watercolor, or you could play, well, watercolor, you know, once it's down, it's done. Colored pencil, probably safer for me. I'm a Mac girl all the way, Angie. I've had Macs forever. So, yeah. Thank you, Lance. I appreciate it. Yay. It's really, it's just, I think, I know there's several other different methods. And the night that I read Two Bad Ants, we're going to be doing another one that is a really fun activity to do. But I have to read Two Bad Ants to go with it because, well, you'll see when we do the drawing, probably Sunday. Okay. Anyway, I'm so glad you guys came tonight. So here's the, for tomorrow night. Let me go back to this. Tomorrow night will be show 65. And since I am 65, it's only fitting that I read the story that started this whole journey of mine into storytelling and oral interpretation. My degree from the University of Washington is in oral interpretation of literature. And I was in a class and I was taking a storytelling class at the same time. And my oral interp professor and the storytelling professor were great friends, but have completely different ideas on how things were done. Oral interp is all voice and inflection and very little body movement and more reader's theater. And storytelling by Sam Sebesta is all over. Like, yeah. So they kind of had this sort of competition between the two of them and had chosen books for us to read. And so this is the one that we got was Sam challenged Bob Post, my professor, to have us do children's literature. And I did the book that I'm going to read on tomorrow night called The Mean Old Mean Hyena. It was the first book I ever did of children's literature in a reading and an oral interp. I aced the reading. I had to do it on stage, and I aced the class. So, and I have done this book for every class I have ever taught. 35 years of teaching, all of my students have heard Mrs. Shepherd read The Mean Old Mean Hyena. And that's happening tomorrow night. It's one of my favorites. And Saturday night, it will be taped because I have to be gone. So I'm going to have it recorded. Now, I am hoping to be in the car and on a premiere and being able to respond. And that will be, I'm not going to tell. Well, yeah, just the hint of it in the title is, did you finish the game you started? If you know anything about, you might know which book I'm going to do. And I've read some of Chris's other books. I just gave you another hint. And the dog shows up in this book too. So tomorrow night, Mean Old Mean Hyena. Saturday night is taped. And Sunday, Two Bad Ants will come and teach you another drawing on the right side of the brain trick for drawing after they tell you their story. So until then, you guys, thank you so much. Let's see how everybody is. Donna's here. Oh yeah. Thank you. Thank you. I think the drawing turned out fun. I like to keep these. I've got this cute little sketchbook. I decided to, put myself in a little sketchbook, and it's just the way I like doing it. There's so many things about our brain that are so fabulous that if we can just um, get it to think in a different way and use those other pathways that are not our standard ways, I think we can open ourselves up to a whole lot more. Thanks, Helen. Yeah, those of us that are Mac addicts would probably never go back. All right. So, oh, good. It makes me want to go back to watercolor. That is by Donna. Phone call. So, A+ for Gretchen. A+. All right, you guys. Well, until the next time, just know that you are a great blessing in my life by coming to this. It brings me joy to put this together. I've learned so much about doing these kind of things, and I am having a great time putting together the openings, which is really kind of a fun creativity thing. It got me over a hump on learning Canva and some other things, and I'm just kind of trying all kinds of stuff. So it's a lot of fun, and I just really enjoy doing this for this, and I'm so glad that it is received well by you guys. So until the next time, you know my tagline and what I believe. Keep looking for the beauty hidden in plain sight. It is all around, everywhere. Look up, look down, look all around. But the first place you need to go look is in the mirror, and it's right there. Until next time.